Hi. Okay, so normally these mental toughness moments are always like well prepared and planned, and I've done research and I've thought about it. And I just finished with a session with an athlete, and it has been a theme. I'm recording this on a Friday, and it's been the theme all week. And so I just feel like I need to let this out and share. And the theme is to let yourself be confident. Let yourself be confident. I work with athletes primarily, from let's say the age of 17 to 25 years old. So on the verge of the next level, starting into Olympic and professional sports. And at that, if you've gotten to that level, and even in business or in well-being, in your relationships, family, friends, community, if you look around and you have some success, if you have some strengths, my goodness, you've earned that. You've developed them. You've put in the time. You've put in the reps. And now it's time to acknowledge it. And in sport, which is where everything in my life is based from, everything we apply sports to life performance, it's time for you to let yourself understand that you got yourself to where you are. And confidence is the driving force, because confidence allows you to have an open mind, to be curious about what can happen, all the good things that can happen. I believe that confidence allows for motivation. And then that confidence and motivation allows us to focus in on the work. And then that allows for more performance. So it's really time to let yourself be confident. And I urge you, grab a pen and paper, not just typing, but grab a pen and paper and make a list of all of your strengths. Make a list of all of your attributes. Make a list of all of the things you do well. And it's not to say they can't be better. And it's certainly not to say that there aren't weaker links in the system and areas of improvement. But in order for you to be the best that you can be, in order for all of us to be the best that we can be, we must come from a place of confidence. Now, I'm not a big believer in faking it till you make it. And I know that a lot of people might disagree with me, and that's perfectly fine. This is my humble opinion. I don't like to fake it till I make it. I like to find something that I can believe in. And for me, it doesn't matter how small or insignificant others may think it is, or maybe even I think it's small and significant. But if it's something that I can believe in, that allows me to, again, be more motivated to what can happen, to be more focused, and to take that step forward, right, left, next play mentality. So allow yourself to identify all your strengths, and in a moment of maybe uncertainty, find something to believe in. Here's another thing, though, that came up in my conversations this week with all of the athletes that I was working with. Confidence is a risk. Being confident is risky business. In fact, I'll never forget one of my favorite athletes I've worked with. Years ago, he looked at me, and these are his words, but he said, it takes balls to be confident. It's a gutsy move to put yourself out there. Why? Because we also have a fear of embarrassment. We also have a fear of shame. We also have a fear of saying and believing we can do something and then not being able and then not doing it. Saying and believing that we can perform a certain way and then not performing that certain way. So it is a risky move to our self-image. And so it's easier, perhaps, to say, I don't know that I can do it. I don't have the confidence, because if it doesn't happen, well, you didn't know it could happen. You didn't believe in yourself. So you're almost giving yourself a way out. But with that, you may have some success, but you will never maximize your success. You will never optimize your success, because protecting your self-image and seeking high performance do not coexist. It's a risk you have to take. Being confident, well, it's a gutsy move, and so you have to be willing to take that move. And what's the worst that can happen? Think about other people. If you can't think about an experience for yourself, think about other people who've put themselves out there. And the people who really care about them, it's not about judgment. It's not about putting them down. It's actually a courageous move. I think the support system has empathy. I think the support system looks up to them. At least you put yourself out there. So yes, it's a gutsy move, but I also want you to think about it in a way that you will then understand that even though it's risky, it's okay. Because the people who I hold dear, they know the effort, and they know, and they will applaud me for the effort and not just the outcome. So that may actually make it easier to take the risk. But let yourself be confident. It's interesting. I work with athletes who they don't, forget about risking their confidence, forget about risking shame and embarrassment and judgment. They're risking their life. They're participating in extreme sports. They're flying through the air. They're diving. They're on, they're doing motorsports. And it's interesting because they've accepted that risk, but being able to risk being confident is harder for them. So, something to think about, isn't it? Why is it so easy to go and risk your life and limb, but not easy to risk your confidence? Well, maybe we're looking at it in a different way. Maybe there's a more productive way to look at it. And that's something that I just shared with you. Maybe confidence is what's going to get me my goals. Maybe confidence is going to actually allow me to increase the probability that I won't hurt myself because I'm in flow. I'm going with it, and I'm not holding back at all. I'm using my confidence to get me where I want to go, and that will decrease injury, but also increase performance. And also the people that love and support me, they're not judging me. They're believing in me, so why shouldn't I believe in myself? Another thing that's, again, this is off the cuff. Another thing is that, I understand that confidence is also can be scary because you don't want to come off arrogant. You don't want other people to think that you're cocky. There's a difference between arrogance and confidence. There's a difference between someone getting on top of the rooftop and shouting that they're the best, or shouting with all their might, all of their strengths, with confidence of knowing it inside and behaving, performing, acting it out. Instead of shouting it out, you act it out. And so I encourage you to act it out instead of, shouting it out. And then I think that fear of being portrayed a certain way will go away. I also want to caution you, because when I say let yourself be confident, it's not diminishing or disregarding the human element of doubt. We're human beings. It's okay to have some doubt. In fact, sometimes I think it's actually good. You don't want to believe that you will automatically win, that you can't lose, because winning isn't loyal to anybody. So a little bit of self-doubt is also healthy. But let yourself be confident. And if you have a little bit of your side plate has a little bit of doubt on the passenger seat, in the back seat, that's okay. But in the driver's seat, you got to know that you can do something. You got to let yourself have the confidence. So bringing it back, if I can remember everything that I have said, letting yourself be confident, yeah, it's a gutsy move. It's a risk you have to take. You're going to put yourself out there and we'll see what happens. But to me, it's the only way for you to optimize your performance, because protecting your self-image by not letting yourself be confident so that you have a reason why it didn't happen, protecting against that shame, embarrassment, whatever you think is going to happen, some social anxiety, you just can't live there and live in a world of high performance. They don't coexist. You have to choose. And the high performance comes with letting yourself be confident. So take a moment, grab a pen and paper, and write down all of your past successes. Write down all of the skills that you've developed with effort. You put in the time. Even talent you've improved on, you've strengthened. So make a list of all those things. Make a list of all the skills you currently are developing, your current improvement. And then let that lead you. Let that open your eyes to what can happen. Let that create curiosity. And then that will lead to motivation and focus, and then again, increase your probability of success and high performance and more confidence. And again, it's not about being arrogant. It's not about telling the world with your mouth how great you are. You can say thank you when someone gives you a compliment. And just like professional athletes, when someone asks them what did they do well, they're not afraid to say it. They'll tell you what they did well. But show off your confidence with your behavior, not your mouth. Try that on for size, as I always say. Experiment with that. Let yourself be confident. Hey, I forgot to add, if you like this video, please like it, subscribe to it. And if you think someone could benefit, this is a pretty good topic, I think. It was pretty relevant this week. Share it with someone who you know could use it. And if you have a question that I can answer, if you want my support, just add a comment, message me, and we'll figure it out together. Thanks. Have a great day.